Episode 7. I'm your host, Dylan Mullins, as always presented by All American Roof Pros. I'm here today with somebody that works with me very closely, one of our marketing managers, Miss Jenn Molton, but even more than that, the owner of Molton Productions, and we're super excited to have her on and just chat with her about her purpose. So Jenn, share with the people. She's usually the one behind the camera, so she's probably going to be a little nervous, but share with the folks just a little bit about yourself.
So, as Dylan stated, I do own Molton Production and Designs here in Mansfield. Dylan actually reached out to me several times to come work for him. And prior to this, I was running my business and working in the school system in a special education classroom with grades 4 through 6. So, it got really rough, and I'm really glad that Faith and Dylan reached out to me when they did. And now I'm able to follow my passion and work closely with Dylan and the team here and also run my business on the side. And it's been an absolute blessing that they had reached out when they did.
Awesome. And we love to hear that. And Miss Jenn is recently engaged. She's going to be married here in July?
Yep, middle of July.
What's the dates on that again?
July 15th.
Okay, I just had to make sure I'll be here. I'll be leaving like 2 days afterwards. Basically, your honeymoon for you.
I'm glad somebody has time for it.
Yeah. So, awesome. Well, I mean, Jenn has been behind the camera for every episode here, so she knows the story. But you know, it's really awesome when I'm able to know a little bit about folks. So, Jenn, I guess why were you drawn towards photography and videography and things like that? What drew you towards that?
So this is actually a really great story, and I tell a lot of high schoolers. So I've kind of got my purpose down to a science, but it all started with my grandmother, my grandma Rhonda. She watches all of our stuff, so I just want to give her a shout out. But
Woo, Grandma!
She put a camera in my hands very early, and that was just something that we have always done together, and that kind of blossomed into me in high school, leaving behind engineering and going full head dive into the shallow end, into arts and graphic design and photography. But I really found that passion when I was able to give back to those seniors who don't have the monies in the fund to have nice pictures of their senior year. So I do a lot of work giving back to our seniors and our community seniors.
Cool, yeah, and that's something we talked about when you interviewed here, you know, because that's obviously something, and you've been through one of our retreats, you've seen us on the day-to-day, you watched me shoot a ton of content, and that's something I hope that you guys realize that I'm super passionate about is purpose more than anything else. You know, like, you ever watch The Prophet, the show? Marcus Lemonis?
A couple.
Okay, so he says people, process, and product. But I think that those are the 3 Ps. But I think there's a 4th one, and that's purpose. Like, you have to have great people. You have to have good processes. We've got all that. You have to have a great product. I think we're good in that department. But I think the one that keeps people around long term is purpose. When you can help people thrive within their purpose, within your business, there's a 4th P, and it's I think it's the most important one, really. Right? Because if we don't feel fulfillment, then why are we doing it?
Right.
You know. So, giving back to back to what you were saying. Sorry, I'm like always on a tangent. What the seniors? So, you know, that's obviously something you're passionate about because like that's one of the first things you brought up in an interview is like, hey, can I keep doing this if nothing else? And I'm like, yes. Actually, let's figure out a way that we can help support those endeavors, whether it's with our funds or whatever. So you kind of knew that right off the rip coming in here. And once again, this isn't the Dylan show. It never is. And that's like my business. It's never the Dylan show. But what, so why do you feel so drawn towards that? I mean, you obviously said because these kids are underprivileged and stuff, but is there a deeper reason, do you think?
I know that there's a deeper reason. I've found quite a few deeper reasons, and that's seeing things behind the scenes in the school system firsthand. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to put the school system on blast, but there is a lot of processes that are broken. And
I would agree with that.
there's also a lot of teachers who aren't there for the right reasons. Their purpose is not in teaching anymore. I discovered that this past school year, and I said it's time for me to go and find something else that I'm passionate about. And once I realized that I can't save them all, I really had to let go of that and choose the few that I could save, and that was a lot of seniors that I've gotten really great working relationships with, bringing them in as interns and bringing them under my wing. So I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity as well.
Yeah, so, obviously mentorship is something we've been really focusing on here. We're not trying, we're partnering with Mid-Ohio Youth Mentoring. A lot of donations, but we're trying to get more involved with the team and stuff like that. So we definitely, that's something that I can definitely get behind. Especially for those kids, so I got like a little bit of flack on social media the other day because I posted that we as human beings need to fight for a 2-parent household.
Yes.
And I know very similar to my story, you come from parents that, were they divorced?
Yep, they split when I was between 4 and 5.
Yeah. So, like, I feel super passionate about that. Like, I think that's something that's super important. And I actually think a lot of the kids you see, they're probably troubled in our school systems, are probably from single-parent households. And it's not the parents' fault entirely, but we could also do a better job at educating our children on how to select the right mate rather than going out and doing dumb things and ending up in a situation where now you are a single parent, right? Is that fair? And like I said, you've seen it firsthand. I have a teaching degree, believe it or not. That's actually why I had to get away from it, because it's just too systematized. And back to the teachers, I think they want to help. I think nobody intentionally starts teaching because they think it's great money or they want the summers off. Like, that's always the joke. The money's not obviously great, but they want the summers off. So I think nobody really starts with the wrong reasons, but I think the system.
Yeah, the system definitely breaks you down. The lack of support from administration, that's something that really, really gets a lot of teachers. And I know that when I left, I took quite a few people with me. Obviously not brought them here, but I encouraged them that if they're not passionate, this is not a forever career.
Yeah.
You are more than welcome to leave and go find your purpose, go find your fulfillment somewhere else.
Especially in the workforce today, like, you go back to that, man, like, employee retention is so hard. Finding good help is so hard. And why would you want to squander that? I think the schools think that they just have a carousel because they're a government position of, like, free people. Like, oh, we'll hire these people because it's benefits.
Right.
People don't, like, our generation doesn't want that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, our generation's not worried about the benefits. We are, to a degree, or the pay. Like, we'll go somewhere that we feel fulfilled and we feel like we have a purpose and we feel like we're doing good for the world more than we will to go chase the dollar.
That's part of the reason why I went back after COVID. I didn't care how low I was being paid. I didn't care how mistreated I was. I was there for the kids. But sometimes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and go, enough is enough.
Yeah, and unfortunately, too, back to the household thing, like, there's so many kids that are going to school and disrespecting teachers, too. Like, you can't put all the blame on the teachers, because, like I said, I think most of them enter it for the right reasons. However, like, on the back end of it, the kids come to school, they're turds.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, they're assholes, because nobody wants to discipline their kids. I heard something, and, I'll get biblical, it's my freaking podcast. It says in the Bible that you're not supposed to be your kid's friend. You're supposed to be their parent. You're supposed to discipline them. And too often, like, the 1, 2, 3 crap doesn't work, man. Be their parent. Like, don't count to 3. Smack their ass. Tell them they did wrong and move on. But too much of the world wants to just, I'll be their friend. And kids don't need more friends. They need a freaking adult in their life.
They need someone that they can depend on. And, like, I grew up with you mess up, you get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
That's just how it was. That's how it's always been. And, I mean, I'm obviously turned out great.
It's negligible.
I mean...
that's all you're talking to, but that's okay.
Rumor has it.
Yeah.
But, some of these kids, they just don't have the discipline. They don't have what it takes to sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day or however long they go to school and respect adults.
Yeah, it's the respect thing, man. And, like, my thing when I was teaching is like, and I only student taught, so like trolls call me out on the internet. Who never taught? But when I was student teaching, like it was just a respect thing. Like if you respect me, I'm gonna respect you. Otherwise, if I have to be the asshole, guess what? I'm the position of power. I'm gonna have to be a dick. And I don't want to. I don't think teachers want it to be that way. I don't think teachers want to get run down. But I think that too much of our system is we're based on testing. You know, we're worried about state tests, all that crap. It's just a bunch of hooey.
Yeah, we're so worried about state testing and test scores and numbers and everything else that we're not worried about these kids who come to school. They eat 2 meals at school and that's it.
Yeah.
When they go home for the weekend, they don't get fed. They come to school repeatedly in dirty clothes. They don't have a clean environment. They don't have a safe environment. The school system's not worried about that. They're worried about those test scores at the end of the year.
Yeah, because it's where their state funding comes from. That's what people oftentimes don't realize, right? You know, I was just talking. I was just on a retreat last week, and we were talking, and everybody has all these ambitions to go on mission trips overseas, and I think that's great. I mean, honestly, it's something I'll probably do within the next year. But also, like, what about our kids here? Like, my current life mission is to impact the lives of 10,000 kids locally. I don't care how that is, with my money, with my time, with my speaking, with my podcast, with my people. But I want to impact the lives directly of 10,000 kids locally. That's like my imprint. And it'll probably actually get a lot bigger faster, but I feel like that's super attainable right now. So, you know, you bring up that, and it makes you think that, yeah, we can do more here than we think we can.
Yeah, we can definitely, and even on a smaller scale, you can do more within one school district than you can a county.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people aren't willing to donate their time even to help these kids. Like I'm very involved in our band boosters. That was not by choice. Now, would I change it? No.
Yeah.
Because I have, and I always tell people ask me all the time, do you have kids? Yeah, I have a bunch of kids, but they're not mine.
I used to say that when I was a wrestling coach all the time.
I've adopted all these kids, and they call me mom. Or I'm not known as Jenn. I'm always known as, hey, Noah's sister.
Yeah.
Or, hey, Maddie's cousin. Or, hey, Miss Schaefer's daughter. Or, hey, Miss M.
Yeah.
It's never, hey, Jenn. It's always, you know, those roles that I take upon myself.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think we got about a minute left. Jenn's not behind the camera, so we don't entirely know. So, you know how this goes. Your chance to share anything you want. What's it say, Liv? So I mean, it's super cool though. Like when people are calling you by something else, like then what your surnames are, because that means they care. That means they trust you. Like if you look at it on a deeper level, like a psychological level, that's always super interesting. Like it was always great when like the kids would call me Mullins, because it wasn't Coach or it wasn't Mister. It was just Mullins, and like it sounds silly, but like it's something that like you realize that they trust you.
Yeah.
That's why. It has nothing to do with them trying to be cool or whatever. It's a trust thing. I like that a lot. I like the way this conversation's going. What would you say somebody at home right now, what they could do the most right now, being as involved as you are and all this stuff, what could they take action on today to help change kids' lives?
So there's a couple things that you can do. Vote on our levies. Those are really important. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure you go out and vote on those levies. Those levies bring us money. Those levies, although sometimes that money's not dispersed the right way, but it's still money coming into the school district. Also, donate to your local sports teams. Donate to your arts department. Donate to your band. Our band is dying. I'm just going to be real. Our band is dying, and we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for donors. I'm really privileged to be able to say that you guys have donated generously to our band, and that money is not going to waste. That money has been used for countless things, and that's just, I mean, it makes my heart happy, and I actually just had this conversation with my little brother. Be grateful for what you have. not what you don't.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, like, I want to be able to see where my dollars go. Like, I want to know that they're going to a place. Like, it was like, oh, just donate to the Red Cross. But, like, why? Why would I donate somewhere that I cannot see and know that they're going to a good place? Like, God has blessed me generously, 100%, and I will continue to bless as many people as I can. But at the same time, I'll do it as a good steward. I don't want to send it just to send it and say that I did it. So that's super good to hear, and we appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that. Like I said, we're so blessed. As a company, I think everybody here is super blessed. You know, everybody can go somewhere and make more money, but I genuinely think that, you know, we try to seek fulfillment for folks as much as we can. Okay, so now I think we're at towards the end. So, Jen, your last 2 minutes, you kind of got up on your soapbox there, so I don't know what God's going to put on your heart for this one, but share with the folks anything you want, and then we'll wrap it up.
Now I got put on the spot.
It worked great when we did it for Liv, so we'll do it to you.
Like I said, just donate to your local sports teams. Sports have changed my life dramatically, and so is the arts department. Our arts departments are dying. Make sure even if it's just a few dollars, write it out to the boosters, write it out to specifically the arts department. Don't just write it out to Mansfield City Schools or wherever you live, city schools. And get these kids back into skilled trades, get them back into arts, get them back into STEM. It's really important, and it grows a lot of character.
Yeah, I agree. The trades is so dang important, and honestly, as a business owner, you know, we're so lacking for people that want to get into this stuff because it's not sexy. But I'll be honest with you, kids that are watching this stuff, there's not a industry or a facet of life that you can make more money right now than in the trades. And I'm not saying that to be boastful. I'm saying that to encourage you. So, as we wrap up this episode, you know, we want to thank Jen for coming on and being behind the camera for all these episodes. We want to thank all of our everybody that's ever come on our episodes. But if you're feeling inspired, sitting in your seat right now, and you want to be on an episode, reach out to myself. Reach out to our Facebook page. It's probably going to be Jen. You can reach out to Jen directly. Let's get you on an episode because we want to figure out what's your purpose. What are you here for? Maybe you've got a message that God's putting on your heart that you need to share. And we're not doing this for ourselves. We're not doing this to promote our own brand. We're doing this because we feel like there's a deeper purpose to us as human beings on being here. So, Jen, do you want to ask the last question or let a guest do it?
As always, what's your purpose?